This is an update on my redstone elevator. Recently, I've basically just given it a dive. So what does that mean? Well, we've gone from a system where it took up 7 blocks going forward and brought it down to a system where it only takes up 4. So we've essentially reduced the amount of redstone at the back and managed to bring in the lectern just back 1 in a system. This should make it a lot easier to fit into various base builds. The main reason I did this is I wanted to have a go at doing a 1 chunk redstone base, and I've been using this design in there, although that 1 chunk base isn't finished quite yet. So the system was very similar to the old system, only a couple of things have changed. So this is the old system. So the 2 things that have changed, well, 3 things really. We've managed to shave these 2 blocks off here by taking this redstone signal extender and wrapping it around this piston instead of having it come around behind. We've taken the comparator tower and we've flipped it on its side this way so that the whole thing comes in this way a little bit. And we've moved the note block tower in over this way so that we gain this space back. And finally we took the logic at the bottom and we've shoved it under the bottom layer. So let's come have a look at the new system. So you don't need to have these blocks here, you can just have these gates freestanding, but it's nice to have them, you know, it just looks a bit better this way I feel. So if we want to go to say floor 3, we just pick floor 3, press the button, wait for some dings, which my audio is off at the moment, so I'll just turn it on so we can do the dings again. And that tells us it's ready, so we just come up. We're now on floor 3. And say we want to go to floor 5, pick floor 5. Again, wait for the dings. And the reason we wait for the dings is we just want to make sure the system is ready before we go. And this will be obvious on the next floor. So now on floor 5, we'll go down to floor 2. As you can see, the higher you up, the longer it takes for the dings to happen. And then we can fall down to floor 2. So looking around the back, we still have our lectern and our button set up. The book in the lectern has to have 15 pages, it won't work otherwise, but the contents of the pages can be whatever you want. That feeds into a comparator and subtract mode. The button is for a torch to be able to essentially hold the signal away from that. When a button is pressed, the comparator can then feed into this comparator tower, which allows the signal to drop all the way down. It feeds into this block here, which is what runs our notebook tower, so the signal then comes back up. Gets delayed by 8 ticks before it goes into these note blocks. It also runs into this, so this is a signal strength lock. So whatever signal strength comes in here is going to be held here. So the last floor we went to was 6, so the strength is held 6. Very important that the comparator redstone dust is like this, and that comparator is feeding directly into it. This has to be feeding into a block. If this feeds into a piece of redstone instead for the block, the system won't work. We've just got a little trick over here, so that with the dropping of the tower, we could just do a little bit of a U-turn using a target block. So we can feed it this way in a small amount of space. From here, we drop the signal by 1, so that's our 6. We drop it to 5. The reason we do that is if we've got floor 1, we don't want any of these stops selected. Same with floor 6 at the moment, so you can sort of imagine 1 is here missing, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is here missing, and so any higher floors. So I'll just pick a floor 3, so you can see this work in action. And we can see that this is now held on 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is, you know, a pretty standard piece of redstone. So a comparator pushes into this block. There's 2 dust on top, with repeaters here feeding into torches, torches underneath the block, with repeaters feeding in again, and 1 line of dust, line this back line of dust. That simply takes the signal strength and picks one of these torches. Then we come up, and we can see that when this block is powered, it's going to put a stop on this floor. It isn't at the moment, so this is not the floor we're stopping on. This block is powered, so this is the floor we're stopping on. And this observer is responsible for firing the dispensers that either take away or put in water buckets. And this system here is basically just making sure that the piston powers immediately when that turns on, but doesn't unpower for another 4 ticks. And this is just to make sure that slab is out there immediately for when the dispenser fires, so it's already there to put the water on, but doesn't pull it away until the dispenser has a chance to take the water away. And that's basically the entire system. There is a world download, I'll put it in the description. We have some of the concepts explained a little bit more clearly here. Each one has a little bit of a notes to be read. This basically just shows that if you don't really want to save the extra space that you can by having the lecterns in against the wall, as we have them here, just make sure you add an extra comparator because you don't want it to interfere with other systems. As we can see, and I'm just going to grab a lever for the moment, just so we can demonstrate how this button system works. So at the moment we have nothing in this comparator tower, but if I power it, it's going to match whatever that book is. So that's books on 4. So that's coming out at 4. And it's still 4 all the way down here. And this is pretty standard. It's just alternating comparators facing each way such that the signal strength drops. The floor stop here is sort of a transparent thing. Another note section. But in essence, on an uptick, the pulse is held for 3. This is to make sure that if this cycles quite quickly in under 3 ticks, there is at least 3 ticks of signal so that the dispensers don't get out of sync and will suck their buckets away. So the observer sees that turn on, pulses this dispenser to take away a source block here, breaking the bubble column, and pulses this dispenser here, pushing out water on top of a slab. Power also comes under here to power this sticky piston so that the slab is there for the water to go onto, and then holds it long enough so that the slab isn't removed until after the water is taken away. So we'll just turn it off again, we can see that happen again. The next part of the system is the lock itself. So I'm just going to hover up here. The only thing really to note that you can get wrong is this comparator has to feed into a block, it can't feed into a piece of redstone, and this comparator has to have its mode set to subtract mode or it doesn't work. I'm not going to explain how this works, I'm just showing that. And then this shows the selector, and we have some other node blocks. So you can sort of explore the idea and understand it a little bit better. And that's basically the entire design. Then both designs have a little bit of flexibility. This design, in order to be at this width with note blocks, you have to have floors at least 8 apart, but they can be on any multiple of 4, so 8 works, 12 works, 16 works, 4 doesn't because there's not enough room for the note blocks. This design, 4 works best, but because we've got a little bit of extra room, because these aren't really pushed right up against it, you could probably make other floor levels work as well. The other reason I went with this though is I did build a few of these and I found that 4 is just too close together. I don't really see value in having 4s any less than 8 anyway. And I think that's about it. That's everything to show and explain. If you want to have a bit of a detailed look around, please download the world download, have an explore, understand the concept, and if you can improve it, by all means do so. Thank you.